Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to another episode of Trudge Report. This is a recovery-based podcast, but if you wouldn't know it from the look on Corey's face, don't worry. We talk about plenty of other things, including sports, trending topics, and a good bit of nonsense. My name is Sean, and I am your host. I'm joined by my good friends and fellow trudgers. Please remember to listen on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Our videos will still be posted each week, so you can watch episodes on YouTube and Facebook. But as always, please be sure to download on your listening platforms. Remember to like and subscribe on all social media outlets with the handle at Trudge Report Pod. We are brought to you by Stella Mix Podcast Management and our wonderful producer and editor, Miss Janine Stella. Gentlemen, good evening. Happy recording Monday. Corey, you can't be doing that. You can't be throwing stuff like that into the chat while I'm trying to read, my friend. It makes me laugh. But
it's just an eggplant emoji, Sean. There's no harm done.
Yeah, true. Are you, you know what? I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But yes, it is an eggplant emoji.
Affirmative. Whatever you're thinking, affirmative.
I do know what that means. So I don't know if I should be flattered or frightened, but thank you. And you just picked the straw of going first. How are you, Corey? How are you this fine evening? What's going on?
What do you guys care? Barely talked to me all weekend. Fucking nothing, dude. I just realized tonight. I think you texted me before the show to see if I was coming. Really, I know you asked me a question, but I think that was. Look at that skinny thing. What is that?
What does that mean?
Is that a cucumber emoji?
It appears to be a green bean of sorts.
What does the cucumber mean? For those not watching this, Corey sent me an eggplant emoji while I was reading the intro, and producer Janine just sent a cucumber emoji, which I think just means
it's got a little bit less girth to it, so it's not going to be less painful.
Girth. The cucumber is not
the old gullet.
Not as well endowed as the eggplant is.
Looks longer though. That looks a little longer. Is this our intimacy episode?
Both are hearty, nutritious, and delicious. So
this is not the intimacy episode, but preview of things maybe to come. So what's going on, Corey?
Nothing.
You were missed.
Yeah.
You were.
I'm sure. I do.
Thanks for going to a concert without me, piece of shit.
Oh shit! Thank you, Greg. I did do something fun. I was sitting here like, oh my god, I'm so boring. I do nothing. My friends all went out of town without me. No, I went to see Offspring, Jimmy Eat World, and Newfound Glory. And I'll tell you what, they all sounded great.
That's awesome,
dude. So I don't even know. I think I'll screw up explaining it. And it's not that important, but we went with the kids. We brought the kids to the lawn.
Nice.
Newfound Glory, Jimmy Eat World, we listened to mostly on the lawn, but then our friend Carm, who had seats like down on the floor, like pretty close, he was getting off the turnpike to come to said concert, and his son, who he had with him, puked all over the car, I guess. So He did a little turnaround and then sent me his tickets. Nice. So then I took my entire family to the floor, which is a first for my kids. And
so Carm didn't make it to the show at all.
At all.
Oh, that's a bummer.
It was a bummer. It was great for me, but whatever. But I took my kids to the floor for the first time ever, and they did have good earphones. We just bought them that day, bought new ones. And it was pretty cool. I mean, we were probably like 25 rows from the stage, which is in comparison pretty close. And
nice.
Dude, they put on a great show.
How was Jimmy Eat World?
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. We got to hear Sweetness and The Middle from the floor, which was
nice.
Electric. Yeah.
Nice.
It was really good.
Did Noah try to jump in the mosh pit?
He was wild as shit, dude. He was crazy. I mean, he was good, but he was ready to go.
My kids, Sophia, anytime Noah comes up, Sophia's like, Noah's crazy. He just runs around and acts crazy all the time. That's like she's fascinated by Noah and how crazy he is.
I told Gabby, whatever, like last week, whenever I was there, Sean, whenever I got back from your house, I was like, I think Sophia only thinks that Noah just runs around. Like that's it. Yeah. That's all he does.
I don't think she thinks he's calm ever.
No, because she'll ask me. She's like, "What's Noah doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know." She'll be like, "Probably running around." Like, yeah.
She's funny.
Yeah, no, I had a good time, much better time than anybody else here on this podcast had, probably. Just saying.
I don't know. Like, I feel like you would have been miserable at the wedding, Corey. I don't know why. I just feel like it would have been that vibe for you.
It sounded like fun.
No, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Sounded like I would have found some laughs to be had.
No, we had a good time. We did.
Did you guys like hang out with each other or anything? Did you guys link up?
Yeah,
our tables were right next to each other. Like, so
I just mean before that. Like, other than the wedding.
No, those guys did a little bit because they were in the wedding party, but I did not know. Catherine and I met everybody right at 2:00 when it started, but we were there till like 8:30 at night. So we spent the whole day together.
And you stayed with the in-laws,
Correct. Yeah. Yep. We stayed with my mother-in-law. Yeah. I got to have an authentic Maryland crab, like boil dinner kind of thing, where you just sit outside and eat crabs and corn on the cob and shrimp and potatoes for like 3 hours, dude. I did not move from my post.
Question: do they throw a big old bib over the table and just dump that?
Oh yeah, the brown paper. 3 tables, brown paper, just stacks of paper towels, and then just everything dumped right on the middle of the table. Just loads of butter.
We used to have
mallets, everything, dude. It was phenomenal. Shout out to my family and everybody who put that together, because it was awesome. That was on Friday, so it was cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Greg, how are you? How was your weekend? I mean, I know where you were, but how was it?
Yes. Yeah. The weekend was awesome, man. It was great to see you guys in person.
Lovely to meet Lauren, by the way. Big shout out to Lauren.
Yeah. Awesome to meet her. She had a great time and good time finally getting to meet some of the crew. So, it was good getting to see everybody, man. And great time. A couple things I will say. Number one, and I don't know, I'm sure Bill feels me on this. I know, like you everybody like pampers the bridesmaids and they got their nice little bridal suite or whatever. I'll say this, like, because you mentioned it, were we hanging out together before the wedding? And yes, we were hanging out. We were also all in tuxes in a bar with no chairs. There's not a single chair to be found anywhere. How long were we standing, Bill? 3 hours? 4 hours just
including the pre? Look, at the time we got to Mark's at 10 in the morning.
10 in the morning.
We were we got to the place at 11. No chairs, directly out in your poly suit, like a baked potato in a rotisserie on a hillside, 100-degree day for 3+ hours.
Yes.
I went directly into my all white suit after that.
Yeah. Bill was they messed up Bill's tailor job. I won't name the place because I don't want to put anybody in Bloomsburg, PA that might own a bridal shop.
It's got to be a bunch of them. I'm sure
they apparently made the constant
everybody's suit had issues with it. Like, we all had to be retailored last minute, except Bill got his pants. It looked like his pants were sagging the whole time because they made his crotch like he was
like that eggplant,
like he had the biggest porn stash walking. You feel me? Like he had those cojones in there.
Those DeLuca boys.
He could have fit 2 watermelons in that sucker. Like they had his pants so low, dude. But yeah, all of our jackets were the wrong size and whatever. But it went off. I think
they just like jumbled everyone's shit up before.
I didn't notice. I wasn't paying attention, I didn't notice.
Well, they're like, who is this cracker that's got 12 groomsmen in his party?
Yeah.
Who is the groomsman? Other than people I don't know, because I don't care.
Bill and I were groomsmen.
Danny P.
Yep. One of Mark's Navy buddies, his
that's only what Corey's would know, but like 12 other motherfuckers, like Uncle Tim from behind the fucking ale house, some guy he met at this Wawa before the show.
Yep. I will say this. There were in that sector of Pennsylvania, there are quite a few night dwellers. If you catch my drift. That old methamphetamine runs wild up there, boy. So
yeah.
But no, I think the wedding venue was gorgeous. I think
beautiful venue, yeah.
And it was a good ceremony. It was good time. So
good stuff.
Yeah.
How about you, Bill? How was your You're on mute, by the way.
It was great. It was good to see you up there, Corey. I'm glad you made it back for the Green Day concert too. That's cool.
I would never see Green Day. Fuck them. I hate them.
Blink 182, whatever it is.
I love
Blink. So it was cool. I got a PRP injection in my freaking neck today. So
what's that?
It's where they take blood out of your arm and then they put it in a centrifuge and they spin it for a while and then they basically extract the growth part of that and put it into like my upper back where I've been having a lot of pain.
Is that
it's a pain
due to the surgery you had prior or what?
I think so. Like the lower back surgery, but then when you do a fusion like that, then your posture changes, and then some guy rear-ended me. I'm not getting all that, but regardless, yeah, I think so. So yeah, so that was fun. So that's kind of kicking in the pain of that a little bit, but it's all good. But yeah, I had a great time up there. I did make the mistake of flying into Philly, and I'm not trying to be funny, Corey, but God, what a shithole. I mean,
but it's funny anyways.
It is funny, but like I'm not. It's not because of you. It's just it's an unbiased perspective.
It's a terrible airport.
Oh my God,
sucks,
no, it's not.
dude.
I'm not
you
even
drive
saying
right
this.
out into
No.
traffic. It's like, dude, what the? And so
you just got to drive. You got to know how to drive. I mean, that's a big part of it.
It's important, but the roads in Pennsylvania, I'm from there, they're much more narrow. Give me Florida's roads. Everyone talks crap about Florida and everything. I will take the wide open where I can get in a rhythm. And I know how to pace to the brake checking, 2-lane, Amish, bumpkin, all this stuff in Pennsylvania going on. And the roads are in terrible condition. These people pay some of the highest taxes in the country. It's the middle of summer. I don't want to hear it's snow's fault or the salt or whatever it's got to be. It's
95 is a mess all the way through.
It's
Philly.
a disgrace, dude. Like what the
so bad.
Like, the mob is running that show up there. Like you can't convince me.
I actually got a funny story about that. So we were driving, me, Lauren, and Dan were driving, and I'm like, I keep seeing these road signs, right? These big fluorescent road signs up there in the country say oil and chips. And I'm just like, I was like, so why are they advertising on road signs that they're selling oil and chips? And what kind of oil are we talking about? What kind of chips are we talking about? Not knowing that was like, I guess they throw just hot oil and chips of asphalt on the road to like coat them because they don't take care of the roads out there. But I'm sitting here wondering where I can get some chips,
Listen, the government of those northern states up there, they fucking hate their citizens. So
all Democrat.
It's a Commonwealth, isn't it? Isn't Pennsylvania a Commonwealth?
But it has nothing to do with that. I don't think. I don't know. But
yeah, no, they don't take care of their shit. They don't. We are much better down here with our roads and parks and all kinds of stuff. I feel like I'm being gaslit. Like, because if you watch the news, it's like, oh, Florida driving and all, like, dude, it's way worse up there. It's crazy. It really Delaware's terrible.
I was trying to factor in like maybe I'm just not used to this, but then like on the way back, it was Sunday and the traffic wasn't that bad, and I'm like, no, it's just terrible. Like the roads are all 2 lanes and they're meant to be 3 or 4, and I'm not a fan. So anyway, we made it across to the first stop. I pull up to this general store and my girl thinks that we're at the hotel and she's freaking out. You should have saw her face. She's like, what the, because she's not used to this. So we get out and I'm like, no, this is not the hotel. This is just a normal PA convenience store. Sure enough, we walk in, it's all fine people, but all Amish people, like, and it was like Village of the Damned in there. Like the music, they don't play music, but the music, if they had some, all stopped and they all were like,
look at these Northerners, or look at these Southerners.
Yeah, she even said, she's like, they're looking at us like we're like astronauts or something, and I'm like, pretty much.
So you flew into Philly?
Yeah.
And you didn't get a cheesesteak?
I'm not done with the story, Corey. So in this,
Corey, I got one. While I was there.
Where?
I think it was technically in Maryland, so it doesn't count.
That doesn't stick to the crab boils, Sean.
It was good.
on the way back. So anyway, so we get down there, we almost die for Amish people. We get all the way back. I'm like, you know what? At least I got a cheesesteak coming my way because I love cheesesteaks. I grew up eating cheesesteaks. I go to the Philly airport. I get Chicky and Pete, the world-renowned Chicky and Pete. Terrible.
That was a foul bill. Although those crab fries.
Yeah,
they
so
you're in agreement that place's cheesesteaks are not good then.
Right.
They're not. I still think they're better than places down here, but no,
it's close.
They stock up there.
Like what's it called on Dixie? The
Whistle Stop.
Yeah, I'll take that over that for sure.
Whistle Stop's
I
good.
would too. I would too. Yep.
Yeah.
Whistle Stop. Yeah,
but it's not Pattergino's. I remember Pattergino's being very good, and I'm sure there's other low key spots in Philly that are good. But
Pattergino's sucks, but they are good. They're much better than Whistle Stop. Jim's is the best famous place.
Here's another thing, guys. So here's another thing. Only in Pennsylvania and up north do you hear the score of the baseball game announced like right before the vows of a wedding. And then like you go to the airport, every freaking dude in there is wearing Philly it's like dude, or I'm sorry, Eagles. It's like, dude, it's not even football season. This guy is in full Philly. It's like, what is going on here?
Dressed up as the bird.
Somebody's uncle is in there. Yeah, dressed up like the bird. Like, dude, what? In the
Passion,
world?
Bill.
I'm from Pennsylvania, but ooh. Pittsburgh's worse probably, but it was an experience.
You know what I don't like seeing? We're not going to get into this, but like I don't like seeing Darius Slay and fucking Steelers shit.
I like to see Constantine slaying pizza and cake in the corner at the wedding.
Oh my god,
that was hilarious.
Yeah, should we
go ahead?
I'm telling it. I'm telling it if you don't. Go ahead.
Our friend, I think he miscalculated.
He was very pleasant the whole wedding. Like that was one of the better encounters I've ever had with him.
Our friend that was getting married, I think miscalculated. Number one, that you started the ceremony at 2 p.m. and that half of your attendance was people over the
open bar
55.
Open bar with Navy guys and drunks.
So these guys were not hanging to 9:30, 10 o'clock. The venue was there until 11. Our good friend Mark, the groom, had 36 pizzas on deck to be delivered at 8:30. Well, by the time 8:30 rolled around, there was about 20 people. There was like 25 people left to slam 36
if that,
people.
Dude, if that.
So yeah, our Russian friend
and time out. All cheese pizzas too. Come on.
36 cheese pizzas.
Give me a pepperoni. Give me a sausage. Give me an everything.
Hey,
36 cheese
he's
pizzas.
A purist. What can you say?
Psychopath move that was.
But yeah, our Russian friend who showed up drinking what I thought was a container of butternut squash soup at 2 p.m. on a 100-degree day, just like the pour spout gallon container of
it was coconut milk.
Yeah.
Coconut soy milk.
On one side of it, it said butternut squash soup, and on the other side it said coconut milk. I thought he was slamming bisque out here in the heat.
When my girl saw that, she was ready to go hang out with the Amish people. She was
he told me, he goes, "Hey, I got V8 juice, I got this, I got that, I got coconut water, whatever Catherine wants." Because my wife's, Catherine being pregnant, whatever Catherine wants. I'm like, dude, I think she's good, dude. But thank you.
I don't want a single thing out of that truck, sir. Thank you.
We did tour the restoratives. He's out offering all these health restoratives, and then he's telling me he's on OMAD, 1 meal a day. And Greg, go ahead and proceed with the story.
Well, and then the Mr. 1 meal a day butternut squash risotto in a whatever, but they open up the buffet line for the food. 3 plates of prime rib later,
huge plates.
And he is looking like we need to admit him into a hospital. Okay. The amount of sweat that was gathering underneath
especially
the pectoral region.
Yeah.
Yeah. just that shirt was struggling. The
Well, and
thread
it's like
count
that
had reached
light
its-
blue. It was like that light blue shirt
Yeah.
that everything shines through on it.
Velour.
Like everything.
Yeah, it was velour.
Velour basketball jersey.
He looked wonderful, glorious. Some might say.
He had a great haircut.
He had a great haircut. So the night's wearing on. Everybody's leaving. He is not. Yeah. So 3 dozen pizzas get delivered. He's housing those. We get to the end of the night, right? You guys were all gone at this point. It's actually Bill and his lady had just left, and so I went in. The bride is frantically trying to clean up. I'm trying to help, just get whatever else cleaned up. Yeah, the groom is beyond the point of recognition at this point. So I noticed that they still have the cake over in the corner. So they had obviously everybody had eaten cake, but there were 2 tiers of cake left, right? The middle and the top. And I know that it is customary that everybody keeps the top of their cake, right? So I asked the bride, hey, do you want me to box up the top of this cake for you? And she's like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. So they get me a knife, and I got the little box, and I'm like trying to perform surgery on this cake to cut the top tier off and place it in. It kind of did a little diver, but we saved it. We got it in the box. And then Constantine is of course over here overseeing
Drooling.
the boxing of the cake, right? And I'm
Sniffing
trying to get some of the flowers placed in there and just try to make it like look a little decent. And he picks up the little plastic cake topper that says the Urix on it, right? And as he's picking it up, it snaps in half in his hands, and he just goes, "Oh, this is not a good sign." I'm
So his desire for cake
just put it back in the box. So we like tucked it back in the box, closed the box, whatever. So I take the cake outside in my car because I'm helping them transport stuff back to their house. So I'm taking suits, I'm taking like all the little decorations that they have. I come back inside. There is nobody left in this entire venue. Everybody is gone. Bride, groom, family, everybody. The ballroom is empty. But our Russian friend has somehow chased down the owners of this venue, desperately looking for a fork and a spoon. He has the fork and the spoon, and he is over in the corner of this ballroom by himself, just dismantling the second tier of cake. Just getting into it like it's his last meal ever.
He's got his shirt off.
He did have his shirt off. He had a tank top on that said America on it. And that sucker was straining just as bad as the baby blue was.
That's so funny.
Absolutely going to town on it. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, also, let me just note a couple other things. First of all, we had all went outside earlier, and I'm not going to keep going on about it. And I came in. He was the only one in there doing the same thing with pizza earlier in the night. The only one in the whole thing. They were playing like Endless Love or whatever, and he's in the corner in the dark, just crushing pizza. I love him. But anyway, also, Lauren, Greg's girl, stole my girl during the event. I will say that. So shout out to her for that. Good move, Lauren.
She, I will say this, and big shout out to your lady as well, because she like when we were there for the rehearsal dinner,
they were very grateful for each other.
Yeah, because Dan's girlfriend didn't come, so that was the only other person that she knew besides me. So yeah, it's like, so during the rehearsal dinner, the two of them made buddy, and then they just kind of stole each other away for the remainder of the weekend. So
we just dealt with Constantine.
I swear to God, I don't even know my friends' girlfriends anymore. Fiance. You
gotta come around, Corey.
You guys just have these separate lives without me.
All right, wait, one more thing though. Here's the kicker. This to me is the funniest thing, even though it's hard to like really tell it as well as Greg could, but for weeks we heard about this private, invite only, don't tell anybody fireworks ceremony that was going to happen as everyone walked out of the event. And like Greg just said, like, how the hell would you plan to have fireworks like 8 hours into an open bar, like down the road? Like no one was even there. And he's telling me 9 o'clock or like 8:30, then 9, then 9:30. And at one point, the owner of the venue confirmed with Greg there was a fireworks ceremony.
Yes, 9:30 p.m.
It was 9:15 and I left actually because my girl was smart enough. She starts looking around. She's like, it's impossible. She's like, if any firework display he has is not going to be a good one because you would see like all the display
people setting up for it. Yeah.
Like she's like, otherwise it's just some little display. Like who cares? And I'm like, that's a good point. Like, because remember we were looking like over in the tree lines and so ends up being Greg stuck around because he's a gentleman and helped clean up. God bless him. But we left right before, and thank God, because there was no fireworks at all. There was absolutely no fireworks. So I don't know the true story. I don't know if that was made up completely, like I thought the pizzas were, because originally the pizzas were going to come at 7, then it was 8:30, and then it was 36 plain pizzas. So I don't know. Wild event.
Probably good that fireworks didn't happen though. Probably overall
for
good thing.
sure.
I traveled all the way to
Pennsylvania to see him.
I traveled all the way to Pennsylvania, and all I got was this damn white chocolate clover. Okay, so I am owed a firework.
You got a cup, Penn State one in the car on the way home. Said it was good.
It's delicious.
That it was
Don't
good.
forget about your cup too, Greg.
Oh yeah, my cup. He had some wonderful gifts for us.
He did.
Very good. Yep. Good weekend. Glad everybody made it back safely. Let's go ahead and transition into our recovery topic tonight. But I have a question, and I'm going to ask you guys. And I purposely didn't give any of you the heads up on this because I want like kind of your
organic,
your honest, raw feedback answer. Although if I go around one by one, the second two of you will have time to think about it. But what do you say to people that tell us or say that recovery groups, whichever one you might be a part of, is a cult or that you're getting brainwashed? We've all heard that. We've all, I got faced with that very direct question very recently. And let's start with Corey. Corey, what would you say to that? How do you feel about that? What would you tell someone to explain that it's not? Is it? Do you feel it is? What do you think?
This isn't an easy question to answer because you're asking what I would actually say to a person who
like if somebody said to you,
to me.
If somebody said to you, Corey, like, why are you in that cult? Or I'm not going to join your recovery cult. It's a cult. Like, what would you say to that person?
And keep it moving, bitch. That's what I'd say. I mean, I wouldn't.
And we have the title for our episode. Keep it moving, bitch.
There you go. It's official, but no, but I don't give that the time of day, really. And I've never actually had somebody actually say that to me. But like, in all honesty, what we do, us four do, it doesn't resemble a cult at all to me. There's no leader. There's no money being made anywhere. Well, I mean, you know what I mean? Like there's no like hierarchy that's making money off of it or there's, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know. What did Creed Bratton say? You make more money as a leader. It's more fun as a follower, but you make more money as a leader or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. That's Sean. You ever watch The Office?
Yes. I know who Creed is. Right. Yes, very much so. Love The Office, by the way.
I don't know. That kind of stuff's ridiculous. I know it's out there. I will say this though, and I can't even get into specifics necessarily for different reasons, but sometimes we give people a reason to say dumb shit like that, and it's when
we start chanting.
Yeah, it's when different groups start chanting weird shit and stuff like that. Like, can't really blame people for thinking we're weird at that point, but I don't know. Do you think people actually think that? Like, I know we've talked, like it's been talked about, but I've never actually had somebody say, "You're in a cult, dude." Like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll say this. Someone that we all know recently, not accused, because accused isn't the right word, but recently forewarned, and this is somebody that's in recovery, forewarned another person in recovery to be careful of certain people because they're trying to bring them into their cult within recovery. And it just was, it was just
Was this a negative against us or any of our associates?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
I mean, it
well,
wasn't, it's all take the source as the source, but
yeah, keep it moving, bitch.
and I asked this because this is going to filter into our disruptors segment.
I can give a little piece on it. So I'm just looking at the definition of cult. I mean,
I looked
listen,
it up too, Bill.
I'm not in a position of defending recovery. Okay, if you think it's a cult, then I guess you don't need to be there. So what the hell do you care? So, but my point is, it does it. But Corey had made a good point. The authoritative figure. If you take that out of it, it has pretty much all the other characteristics. But I don't really
elaborate
care.
on that because I looked up the definition too, and I would
refer to devoted following, more impactful, a group characterized by an unusual belief system, well, like manipulative, controlling practices that isolate members and can lead to their exploitation or harm. No, but not that. But up at the top here, for where it said, there's like a newer definition of it. It has some of those characteristics. I don't know if you guys agree with this, but and I hear this before, but I needed to be brainwashed in a way of like I needed to evolve and change my thinking to something better. So I guess from like a completely outsider's perspective, if I knew nothing about it, didn't have a problem to even consider it and only was looking at it at face value, I can understand why people would draw parallels. Plus, as was mentioned, some of the crazy things some people do.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Inside and outside, you know what I mean? So I don't even get offended by it anymore.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
I know someone particularly that I'm sorry, real quick, that affected to the point that they stopped attending.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, to your point, I think those people those people are probably also like looking for any little reason not to be a part of it too. Generally speaking, not all the time, but generally speaking, those people are looking for any reason to not do it or not be a part of it.
I kind of stop. I kind of
ahead.
stop at like the simple, I already said, I don't pay it much mind anyway, but like I was shooting heroin. I was like on a fast track to death and I was already like suffering the life. So like, I don't care what anybody says about what I do to not shoot heroin. I don't care. And honestly, the people that have those kind of judgments, especially if they're like, if they also have drug addiction or alcoholism, I don't mean this in like a self-righteous way, or it sounds kind of brash, but like they don't stick around and they end up going back to what I'm trying to stay away from. So
to that point, it's like if I knew you before in Jersey or whatever, and then you went and joined Scientology, okay, but you stopped doing dope, right? And you were like, looked generally happy. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't even comment. I'd be like, good for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't care.
I mean, 99% of society is going to look upon people like us and be like, things better than the way they were, you know?
Yeah, like, so, good for him.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care what he's doing.
What are your thoughts, Greg?
Well, kind of like what Bill was saying and what we've talked about in the past, you know, like I was a junkie who couldn't keep a needle out of my arm or a bottle out of my mouth, you know. So maybe I did need some brainwashing and to learn new ways of living and all that kind of stuff. Certainly at the beginning. If it is a cult, I've spent 9 years missing out on orgies. So if anybody could tell me when
you're
those
the only one, Bucko.
Yeah, dude, you missed out, man. Sorry to break it to you. You shouldn't have moved away.
I have yet to run into. I've met some very interesting characters.
Yeah.
None who quite resemble Charlie Manson or anything like that. But
some of his followers, maybe.
Yeah. But I think yes, in the strictest definition of a cult, I mean, at least the brand of recovery that we all subscribe to is free of charge. You know, nobody's over here. Hey, you've got to give up all of your worldly possessions to enter our doors. And nobody's really telling us what to do. I think. Corey brings up a good point, though, is like a lot of times we as individual members can muddy up the message of what it is that we're trying to do. And yeah, does some of that behavior come off as cult like at times? Yeah. And like I've been right there with it. One thing I can always kind of harken back to, and I get it, some of the slogans and stuff like that still ring true. And if we read between the lines and we also know what the meaning of those things are in our own hearts, we know they're there for a good place. However, some of that stuff can get a little cultish, right? Like early on, I was probably in a place where I needed to be in a recovery group once, maybe even twice a day if I had the time, right? Just to get that foundation for myself and get connected with some other people. But I think we've all kind of, elaborated on that several times over, that is certainly not the case for us today, and we live a life free. But yeah, I always do have to, check myself a little bit when I am in a recovery group setting, that like I'm not muddying up the message. I'm sticking close to the literature and what the message of that is overall, instead of kind of going off on little tangents that make no sense or most importantly could push somebody out of the room. But the only thing that I've ever been really told that I have to do in the cult, I guess, that we would all belong to, is that I should be of service and sacrifice to help other people. So that's
we don't sacrifice animals. We make sacrifices within.
Right.
That's a new slogan.
Yeah, it was a fresh question because I was talking to somebody about it recently, and it's one of those things that, like Corey said, we hear all the time, and we kind of brush it off, and you kind of almost laugh it off. And I if I strain, I guess I could see how someone could come to that conclusion. However, I just was looking up the definition as well, and I know that maybe some of those but I think some of those characteristics are true of like corporate America too, and corporations and businesses, and the Elks Lodge and any other organization. But like specifically to the y'all's point, right? There's no hierarchy, there's no leader, there's no we're not giving up worldly possessions, paying fees or dues. We are truly free to come and go as we please, and to take part in the recovery program or not. And to Greg's point, along with what he said, the only thing I was really told was either to be of service or that I had to enhance my spiritual way of life, or I would go back to shooting heroin, like Corey was saying, and I would go back to that life. But
it's funny, Sean, what you just said too. Like what kind of cult has like probably half its membership not even doing the shit that everybody's supposed to be doing?
That's true.
You know what I mean? And then like what kind of cult
what about
for
Jim
those...
Jones in Guyana? At least 25 or 30 of those people didn't do what they're supposed to.
What'd they do? Leave?
They got the hell out of there. Yeah.
Good. And then they came
and
and joined ours.
Of sorts.
All right, it's a dark joke. Sorry.
I got it. So that leads me into the next thing, is like, how do we deal? And I want to hear from each of you on this one by one. How do we deal with disruptors in recovery? And what I mean by that is the bleeding deacon, the person who's just trying to cause trouble just for the sake of causing trouble, the person who thinks they know everything and has to tell every single person exactly how everything must be done, and imposes their will and doesn't have any regard for other people. We call them the recovery disruptors. How do we deal with them? Let's go back to Greg first, if that's
you guys
all right.
You guys are just gonna talk about this like I'm not right here.
We're hoping you'll pick up. We're hoping you'll pick up on some cues. Let's go back to Greg first, and then we'll go and Bill, and then Corey.
Well, real quick, Sean, just to be a little bit more specific, I know we volleyed this a little, but one of the marks on this would be too, that I want you guys to think about, is when does it come to a point where you say somebody is affecting group unity? Because there's a point where we got to let everybody hear, you know what I mean? But when somebody begins to disrupt group unity, how would you contemplate fixing something like that as well in a disruptor sense? Just to be a little bit more specific.
I like that, Bill.
Go ahead, Greg. Yeah, I carry a battle axe in my trunk for just these individuals. So,
I have a bow and arrow.
it sucks, man. Because you oftentimes don't want to create resentment and you don't want to create tension within the group, or elevate the tension that may already be there, right? And the other thing, kind of like what we were just talking about, but you also don't want to single anybody out. What we mess around with, and certainly what we realize, is that we're dealing with life and death situations, right? And we're dealing with a lot of times people's fragile little emotions, right? And I know I say that in a joking sense, they're kind of poking fun at it, but it's true, and we never know what things that we will say or what small actions we have might push somebody out completely. And the next thing you know, 2 weeks later, you're like, you hear, oh, so-and-so died. Did you hear about that? So having had some of those, and I know you guys are right here with me because it happens all the time, but it's like having had some of those experiences happen, not to sit here and say like I would hold on to guilt that doesn't belong to me over something like that, but taking the time to really think and be careful about what we say. And certainly what I don't think is the way to go, even though I feel like I've done it at times, especially early on, is start going to each individual member of the group and, oh, what do you think about so and so, and trying to like stir up shit either. What I would say is keeping it based on group unity, like we were talking about, and knowing that is the most important thing, and that we are doing our best to facilitate a group that is doing the most important thing, which is carrying the message of the program and making it a place that people feel comfortable coming in off the street and being like, hey, I need help, I got a problem, right? That's our main goal in all of this. So if people are getting in the way of that, when you're having a monthly meeting, bring it up, right? Bring it up in a sense, in trying to have the most love and tolerance, I guess, as you possibly can, for a person, even if you don't like them. The old adage of the toughest pill for me to swallow sometimes is, but for the grace of God, there go I, right? And knowing that I can be a piece of shit sometimes too, and do things that people don't agree with as well. So trying to keep love and tolerance in my heart while at the same time, handling business. And, I don't think there's any problem certainly anymore with like taking somebody outside and having a little one-on-one with them. Hey, this is the way I feel. Maybe some of the other group members have said something about it, and this is where I feel like we're maybe stepping over certain lines or getting into territory that's not what we're here for. And sometimes that message might be taken with like, oh man, I didn't realize I was doing that. Other times it might not, and
other times you get poked in the chest.
You do get poked right in the chest. So but at least try. We're supposed to be living spiritual lives, right? We're supposed to be enhancing our spirituality, our connection with God. We got to believe that God would want us to exercise love and tolerance for his kids all over, no matter what. So I try to take that tack first and foremost.
Good stuff. Thank you, Greg. Bill, what about you?
That's what I'm here for, the answer to this, because I'm saying, when somebody becomes uniquely evasive and detrimental to a group, I've dealt with all sorts of people, and I'm just using it as an example, but I just try to think about those situations for some groups, because there's really no answer, because sometimes, I think, well, if someone got like that, maybe I would, because in recovery, you can, in a business meeting, you can make a motion, and if group conscious, the majority of the group, passes that motion, then that's kind of the law or bylaw, right? So, sometimes I'm like, maybe you would propose a sanction against the person, as in like they can't speak, or something, because it gets to the point where I've dealt with people
I
in
would
the
love that, by the way, but I
I
don't know.
mean, but like, is it wrong? Like, that's what I'm here to debate. Is
Yeah.
it like, is it wrong? Like, because sometimes it gets to a point where it's like, how we are in AA. Like Greg's right. Like, I don't like calling myself a POS, but I used to be one, right? Because back in the day when I was still getting high going to recovery meetings, and if I really had the attention span to stick around back then and really troll people, oh boy, you guys think I'm a troll now? You know what I mean?
But
Go
I
ahead.
think to your point,
Yeah.
if you were that one, you wouldn't have stuck around long.
No, but some people are a lot more determined. Is the problem. I definitely wouldn't have. I wasn't making it to the business meeting. So, there gets to a point where I've seen before. I remember years and years ago, a guy that used to come in and he used to like, I feel bad. He had like seizures, but he also would be like super aggressive. And I think eventually got kicked out of the hall. And he would come in and walk around like a mummy and scare the shit out of like definitely the women. And so and I particularly think about the women and the newcomers of, if someone is just in any sort of manner overwhelmingly every week or once a month, just making it in a completely aggressive scene. Honestly, people stop wanting to come if they know those people are going to be there. I've dealt with this issue before where home group members, long-standing home group members, don't want to be home group members anymore that are important to the group. Now, my job as a home group member to say to them is we have to stand in unity, or we can't let someone run us off our post. However, it gets to a point where it's like, I kind of get their point, like it's almost like do you go start a new home group? Because then like people can go to any home group they want.
Right. They'll follow you right there.
It's like running from your drink, so I'm gonna volley it back. I don't know, like that. To me, like when we're really trying to like the nuclear button, what is the nuclear button, Sean? Maybe like you've had a lot of worldly experience in recovery, or maybe you have different theories than us on it.
I go, Corey. You want me to go next, or do you want to go first?
Corey,
I don't have a whole lot. I don't think so. I'll say whatever. I mean, we're talking about like somebody who is like the example we're using is like somebody who is of like basically sound mind, right? Like
Potentially.
has their marbles together kind of deal, but like their personality is kind of the issue, maybe.
You could say that, yes.
Am I barking up the right tree?
Yeah.
All you can really do is like have a direct conversation, I think. You know what I mean? And like hope that the thing that I've always relied on with like, I hate to say it, I don't wish anybody like out of the room or anything by any means, but I can't, if I'm being honest, like I have kind of relied on the thought in the past that nature is going to take its course with some people, and like I don't think that people with any like that have any type of malintent or ill will or anything, like those kinds of people don't stick around. And maybe that's not what we're talking about necessarily, but like I'm just saying, like in the past, like people just get weeded out of this whole thing, I think. Like cuz most of the people are going in a direction that is positive, I think. In my opinion. But as far as like remedies, I don't know, man. What do? You talk to them. You can talk to them and then just pray for them. And
well, I think one thing, and this just popped in, and I hate to get in the middle of this, but I for work, like I manage 3 different branches of one company, right? So What I try to do when there's problems, when there's issues, and they're constant, right? But what I try to do with my team is I bring it all back to we, right? To begin with, anyways, we are failing in these aspects. Here's some stuff I think we're doing really well. I think we got a pretty well-oiled machine with this stuff. Here's some stuff we are not doing well. And whether that be a couple people dropping the ball or whatever, it affects the team as a whole, right? If it then keeps occurring and I keep talking about it in a group setting with the team and things aren't improving, then why should I fault the team members that are coming to work every day, busting their ass, and are doing their job well and are picking up the slack for people that aren't? I'm not going to continue that. They shouldn't be penalized for that. So that's when I pull those people aside and like, okay, we're going to have a separate conversation here. And then that's where, hey, I'm willing to do everything and anything that I would ever ask you to do, but here is where you are not hitting the mark. And, certainly recovery is not work, and I'm not a manager of anybody in recovery, but I think if we kind of take that tack into what we're doing in our recovery groups, where we keep it on a we thing at first, and then if it needs to be addressed with somebody one-on-one, then that's what you do.
I think it's a really good topic, and Bill, thanks for bringing it up in our thread the other day, because I do think it's a really good topic. And just to clarify, like, this is all theoretic, right? We've all dealt with these situations in any of our aforementioned recovery groups, both past and current, and probably future as well. I think one of the things, and I've been thinking about this a lot since we were talking about this the other day, I think that it's important for me, and I'll say me, to remember that, like, sometimes I approach these situations of how can we solve it? What can we do about this person or these people, or how can we fix it? And I have to remember that maybe the answer isn't to fix it. Maybe the answer is that it is teaching all of us, or a certain set of people, or myself, a certain type of patience, a certain type of understanding, of love and tolerance, fill in the blank with whatever, that it could just be another step in my own personal growth, and henceforth the group's growth, right? I do agree with Corey that most of the time these people fade away, and but it might not be in the timeline I want. Like, I can think of my own personal recovery group. In the last 5 years, there's been 2 major people that have been what we would consider disruptors. And then a handful of dozens of other people that are there that maybe show up and they're there for a week or 2 and then they're gone, and you never hear from them again. But 2 of them, and I can currently say that both of those 2 are no longer around in our group. But both of them were around for quite some time. And it's kind of like, we have our business meetings. And I think that, to the group side of things for a second, that is where the group conscience and the voice of the group really needs to shine forth. If it's just a bad attitude, that's one thing. But if there are certain logistical things within the group that this person or this disruptor is doing that is quote unquote wrong, or not in line with some of our guidelines and some of the stuff that we try to operate our groups, that's where the group can make votes and can put things in writing and can put things into current practice and can say to, hey, so-and-so, we're not doing it this way anymore. And if they get pissed off and mad, then they have the opportunity, back to it being a free society, that they have the opportunity to leave. They have the opportunity to put a motion of their own in and try to get something to change. But from the personal standpoint, one of the great things about the recovery groups that we all go to and we all attend is that anyone can be a member if they say they are. And if you look a little deeper, right, the only requirement for membership is a certain few things. And we cannot, and nor should we ever have the power as individuals or as groups to kick people out of the society. Now, Bill, you brought up a great point about somebody got kicked out of a meeting hall. That's a little different because the meeting hall itself is not the recovery society as a whole. And oftentimes those churches or meeting halls or civic centers or whatever they are, they will have their own separate bylaws and rules and regulations. And that's something you can also lean on too, right? If the disruptor becomes that bad, you can lean on that. And maybe that'll help, maybe it won't. And I'll end with this for now. Somebody that I was talking about this to recently brought up a great point, and they took the tact of trying to, their specific person they were thinking of, right? And they tried to take the tact of incorporating that person into more of the group's activities. Hey, you have a problem with this, or that. You don't think this is why don't you lead this meeting? Why don't you pick this speaker? Why don't you do a this or that? And they totally like, no, I don't want, and at least for now, it kind of lessened that person from that group situation, and they faded a little more into the crowd, into the background. So, but again, I'm not so sure that the answer is to find a solution. The answer could be practice in dealing with difficult people, because let's face it, guys, we're going to deal with that in business, in family, in life,
on this podcast,
in this podcast, you know what I mean? And I think that's where my mind's been at recently, is like, maybe it's just more training for me and other individuals. So
I have my answer, by the way.
Yeah.
Sean made me think of it. What we do is we join the board of whatever meeting hall, and then we get their ass trespassed immediately.
Yeah.
There it is. I agree with Sean too. We should just beat them up and kick them out.
Agreed. Drink this Kool-Aid.
It's a great point because, but it is sad sometimes to passively watch one seat cost 3 seats or 5 seats or 10 seats.
Yeah.
And then you begin to say, how many seats can be disturbed? You know what I mean? And it becomes, but I understand completely. And you guys all made some great points.
Maybe those seats, I mean, it might have been said already, but maybe those seats are supposed to get disturbed and drop out too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel that way to us,
right?
Because we're the humans over here saying that's not right. But, maybe they go on to a different group or whatever.
You could argue, Corey, and I understand your point. And in the moment, and to Bill's point, in the moment, it's like, damn it, that's not a good thing. We don't want that. Right. We want people to stay. But yeah, maybe that's just part of those specific people's journeys, and they have to find their own tribe on some other level. I mean, that's the easy answer, but not always. I will say,
go ahead.
Just to add on one more thing is, I think Greg brought it, like, somebody should try and talk to this person. And I'm sure with a lot of these situations, somebody probably has, maybe a different somebody needs to. And if we're talking about group unity and other people in the group maybe have an issue with a certain person or persons or whatever, then I would implore them to look inside their heart and be the one, you know what, maybe I need to speak to this person. Maybe coming from a different person will help it. Or maybe having that person talk, that'll be what happens for that person to say, you know what, screw this. This is the third person that's talked to me about this. I'm out of here. I'm not coming to this group anymore. Right? That could happen that way too.
Yeah.
So good stuff. What are we? Any other closing thoughts on this topic? I think praying for them obviously is first and foremost. I think prayer for them is always right. The sick man prayer. Save me from being angry. How can I be helpful to them? I think that's always first and foremost, which is hard sometimes, but.
Amen.
What else? Anything else, guys?
Home run derby.
Nothing a good old fashioned ass kicking can't fix.
That's right. A ski mask beat the crap out of them.
We should just
C4 right now, Greg. That is gangster. C4 at 10:05.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's been a very long day, boys.
Are you working tomorrow, bro?
Oh yeah, I'll be up 4 a.m.
You psycho.
Whatever. Here's the last thing. Whatever their sexual orientation is, the disruptor, you get the opposite type of person to hit on them and make them extremely uncomfortable, and maybe that gets them out.
No, we get Constantine to hit on them no matter what.
That could be too.
There you go.
That's the answer. If you ever have a disruptor, you bring in Constantine.
Yeah.
You pay him in pizza.
Very good, guys.
All
right. Wonderful show. Corey, we missed you this weekend. Glad we're all back together.
Thanks for coming there, Corey. Appreciate it.
That's how you
Shout
know we're
out
not
to
a
our-
cult, because Sean didn't call me and say, "Hey, your ass better be in Pennsylvania this weekend."
Good point. Or you lose your membership status.
I mean,
Shout out
we're
to our
invited.
listeners. Please like, follow, and share on all socials at Trudge Report Pod. Email us, trudgereportpod@yahoo.com. Send in your mailbag requests for topics, questions, and comments to any of these handles. Remember, we are all here if anyone wants to talk about recovery, our experiences, or if you are struggling with some form of addiction. Thank you again to Janine and Stella Mix Podcast Management. Good night, God bless, and may you trudge the road of happy destiny. We will see you next week.